Good afternoon, my beautiful babes and babettes. I'm your resident active advocate, and I intentionally skipped yesterday so that I could combine the two videos that you're going to be getting today because they deal with the same book, kind of, and the same subject matter. But Lily, didn't you actually skip yesterday because you were feeling lazy and not photogenic at all? Well, voice of reason. By the way, that's my voice of reason. You've been introduced before, but, well, voice of reason, how dare you make assumptions about me that are 100% true? Anyway, today I would like to talk to you about the book called Wonder. Can't remember who it's by at the moment, but there's a movie of it. I've read the book, I have not seen the movie, but I don't know how they differ. And then in my next video, which will be coming up immediately after these commercial messages, i.e. immediately after this video, I will be talking about a companion novel to Wonder that is called The Julian Chapter. And basically what happens in Wonder, the premise is that August is a child who has a severe facial deformity, and there have been many instances of people thinking that he is, well, horrible, deformed, ugly, a monster. Right. In this book, the politics of the gaze definitely comes into play, hugely so, because you get, in accordance with the title, the wondrous gaze, but you also get the monstrous gaze. And these two are sort of juxtaposed with one another throughout the novel. In terms of the wondrous gaze, the title is called Wonder because August is portrayed as someone who is able to rise above his disabilities, his deformities, in order to be well loved and made into a sort of inspirational hero by the people around him, or at least the people around him who see him as wondrous. For the people around him who do not see him as wondrous, it is much more likely that they will see him through the monstrous gaze, in terms of which would imply that they see him as someone they could not possibly relate to. They see him as someone who is more likely to, be hurtful in the long run to them, to society even, because it's like, how can a person like that function in society? How can a person like that, quotation marks, better society? Right. And you see a similar premise, I believe, in the movie The Elephant Man with John Hurt. But I actually would like to watch that movie because the whole premise behind that one is that John Hurt's character is made into a freak show. And this, I do believe, happened in real life. It may be a true story, but I'd have to look into that. In August's case, when he gets to the new school that he is being put into, he is escorted around the school by 3 students who are all, very exemplary models of what a student ought to be. And therefore, the principal thinks that they can make good friends with August. They can, show him the ropes and, just be his friend, or at least be friendly to him. There's a distinction to be made there, okay? To be friends with someone is actually to get to know them on a personal level. To be friendly with someone may just be say hello in the hallway or make the different, quote, person feel that they are welcome here. But you don't necessarily have any obligation beyond that. So that's one of the primary elements of this book, in that he's not really expected to have friends as such, but he is expected to, at least on face value, be treated like an equal to the rest of the kids. The problem is one of these 3 children, his name is Julian, and we will get to him in my next video, is very much freaked out by August's appearance, and he later on becomes one of August's bullies. And he is definitely not looked kindly upon for how he treats August. And there are even, like, severe measures taken against him, even though August is the one saying, "No, it's my fault. It's my fault for looking this way. He's a horrible, horrible, cruel person, but don't you get it, people around me? I'm a monster." That's where the monstrous gaze comes in. At the end of the book, this whole view of August being a monster, this view that he has inculcated in his own mind throughout the years, just by being treated as completely different and abnormal from the rest of the children, that whole stigma is basically nullified by the fact that at the end of the book, August receives an award from the school pretty much just for being who he is. I want to talk about both the positives and the negatives of this. The positive is that it shows that on a wider scale, August is being helped to fit in. He is being looked upon as someone who is worthy and worthwhile, and I hate this word, but special. But that word special, quotation marks, is where this becomes for me a problematic element. The infantilization of disability takes place when the different gazes are misapplied or applied in an incorrect way. What can happen sometimes with even a thing like the wondrous gaze, which is at face value a good thing because it is seeing a person as having inherent or even accelerated value because they have this difference from everyone else. But the problem with that is that it can also turn into this whole story of you are special, therefore we should be taking care of you. And a lot of the time, the problem is with disability, especially with physical and intellectual disability, the person is not necessarily expected to take care of themselves, and they are also minimized in the skills that are seen in them. They may not be allowed to express themselves properly. They may not be allowed to learn proper life skills. They may not be allowed to have real independence of mobility, of living, of even of thought at times, because everything that they do is being dictated for them by their caretaker, by their friends, by their parents, maybe by their siblings, by their social group, and this creates a lack of autonomy for the person with the disability. And the problem of the misapplication of the wondrous gaze is that it can lead to this, because it can lead to the person saying about themselves, "I am special, but I am more special than you. And you should be looking up to me. You should be idolizing me. But at the same time, you should be taking care of me. I should not be expected to have to do anything for myself because I'm special." I have, in the context of my own life, I have a huge problem with that narrative because it can happen to so many different kinds of people. This can happen even to people without disabilities if they have a particularly clingy, shall we say, social network, especially when it comes to the parents or the caretakers. If the parent slash caretakers are defining their role in life as, "My role is to take care of you," that is infantilization, both of the child involved and of the parent or the caretaker involved. Because the whole idea is that my life does not go beyond you, and your life, consequently, does not go beyond me. And we belong in each other's arms, always. We are at opposite ends of one another's leash, and you need to cling to the leash, and I need to cling to the leash. That is not healthy. When I get through with the book series, I want to do a series on infantilization, how it happens on both ends of the caretaker spectrum. So the caretaker and the caretakee, the person with the disability, how it can be prevented, and the reasons why it continues to happen, even in a modern and developed society. So Wonder definitely contains this theme, not exactly in abundance, but August is still fairly young, but at this point he should be learning autonomy. He should be learning how to use his own voice. He should not be relying on other people so very much to be elevating him and showing him that he is a special person. Again, I really don't like that word, because infantilization is not a good thing. But I will get to that in future videos. Alright, so that is my analysis of Wonder, and for a change, I actually know exactly what book we're doing next. It is called The Julian chapter by the same author. And that video will be coming in 5, 4, 3, 2 whenever you click. Goodbye.